Hi everyone, welcome back to the Neurocast, and today we'll be taking a look at how blood helps us image the brain. From ancient Egypt all the way up to the 19th century, pretty much the only way of examining the workings of our brain was by cutting it open after someone has passed away. But just like you can learn so much more about a person by having a chat with them when they're alive, rather than maybe going through their journals after they've passed away, you can learn so much more about the brain by interacting with it and visualizing it in real time, rather than looking at a post-mortem section of the same brain. That's why something called as in vivo imaging is super important for neuroscientists and clinicians to get a clear picture of the brain while it's alive. And one of the best in vivo techniques that we have at the moment is called magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI in short. Now, most of you might have had a scan yourself or heard of different scanning techniques like the PET scan or a CT scan, but what sets an MRI truly apart from all of these techniques is that with a single MRI scan, you can get all sorts of information about a person's brain, including which parts are connected to other parts using diffusion MRI, the volumes of different structures in the brain using structural MRI, and which parts of the brain light up when we do certain tasks using functional MRI, or fMRI, which happens to be the topic of today's video. And fMRI helps us understand which parts of the brain are involved in doing certain tasks or functions. For example, here's an fMRI of someone trying to play a game, and this is an fMRI of myself while I'm doing a motor task. But how exactly does it do that? Well, it uses a little concept called neurovascular coupling and magnetic susceptibility. Let me explain. Put simply, when certain parts of our brain need to function, it needs a lot of oxygen and nutrients recruited to that specific area. Since we only have a limited amount of those resources, our body does this neat little trick where when neurons in a specific area of your brain start firing more, nearby blood vessels respond by widening or dilating. This dilation allows more blood to flow to the active brain region, delivering extra oxygen and nutrients to meet the increased demand. So what these really smart neuroscientists in the late 1900s realized is that if there was a way, hypothetically, to visualize which regions of the brain the oxygenated blood was going to when we were doing a certain task, then we could indirectly measure which regions of the brain are involved in that specific task. And turns out there is a way to visualize that. You see, when oxygenated blood, which is slightly more magnetic, rushes to a region of the brain, it changes the magnetic field surrounding the tissues, and this distortion is picked up by the MRI signal, creating what's called a blood oxygenated level dependent contrast, or a bold contrast, where oxygenated regions appear brighter than the rest of the brain, creating a contrast. Now, while it comes with its fair share of limitations, fMRI has been used to do some of the coolest research in neuroscience itself, ranging from reconstructing whole videos that people have watched to predicting decisions before people have made them, all using just their fMRI data. That's it for this video, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you like more of these explainer videos or just cool stories from the world of neuroscience. This is just my second video on the channel, so I'm trying to keep it concise, but if you do like it or not like something about the video, do let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.